Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Victoria.
And I'm Rachel.
And we're Twintorials. We're going to talk about not the rest of our eyeshadows, part 2 basically to the eyeshadow series. And we're going to talk about all of our makeup that's discontinued, all of our eyeshadows that are unavailable. A lot of these are like influencer collabs. So we'll just go through it for you.
Where's Smokey Glow?
Oh, where is Smokey Glow?
First on the docket is Midas and Smokey Glow.
You can't see her name on here.
I know, it's rubbed off. We've used this palette a fair bit. Leno
in recent
broke,
years, though.
But no, not in recent years. We've not used it. So Hannah actually sent this to us in PR. It was like our first ever like influencer collab PR box kind of thing. We got quite a few from like Odai and stuff after that. But this was like really sentimental to
everything for us because I watched Smokey Glow like religiously at that point in time.
Is she still doing YouTube? I haven't checked up on her.
I don't know. I hope so. I saw her last after her and Charles split.
Yeah, me too.
But I haven't checked on YouTube since. That's a good thing that we could check.
Yeah. So anyway, hope Hannah's doing well. But this palette is really, really fun. I liked the color story a lot. When this came out, it was, I want to say, like pretty on trend. There was a lot of pinks and purples going on. And I love the shimmers in here. Nutty and Leno are the best, but the classic shimmers are really solid classic shimmers as well.
I really like this bottom one.
Yeah, the Dofa shade is really good. It's a nice like smoky, like purpley red.
Yeah, it's got a lot of sparkle in it.
It's really nice. I like it. It's like a brown. But I like this palette overall. We haven't used it in a long time. I think it's one that I could put back into rotation. I would like to start a project pan again, like with at least 2 eyeshadow palettes in my bucket, something a little bit brighter maybe, to play around with. And some of our discontinued palettes might be a good option.
I was thinking the same thing. Next on the docket, I don't really know if this was
before or after.
Before or after, like when this happened. But this is the Anastasia, Beverly Hills, and Jackie Aina palette. The packaging on this is still so pretty, like the shine.
Easily ABH's best palette.
This was their best palette, definitely. Everybody was like head over heels for the Mario one. This blew this right out of the water. I never tried the Mario one, so I could take that for what it is. But this color story is much better. We obviously used the heck out of it, and it still performs really, really well. Definitely. And it has some of those similar tones to the Smokey Glow and the pinks and the purples there. But my favorite is just like this side of the palette here. Like these murky kind of fall tones.
Yeah. We used a ton of those.
Oh, good. And then the shade Zam.
Zam is so good. Zam was Zam.
Yeah, definitely. I love Ginger though. Ginger is one of my favorite warm matte browns.
Yeah, I remember all of the controversy surrounding this release, and I remember not quite understanding it. This
was dumb.
I thought it was dumb, but I will say, hear me out. Now that I'm fair and wear less bold makeup, I see what people were saying. Now, that is not to say that she should have changed a damn thing about this palette, but I see why fair-skinned people were saying, this is a little much for me, I need more transition shades for my skin tone. That's nothing against Jackie. She made them for her skin tone. That's great. Wonderful.
Well, and it's like, why would you buy a palette that doesn't have colors that interest you? Like, you probably have more makeup.
Right. But they are wham bam kind of pigment eyeshadows. Now here's the first Robbie Christy palette that ever came out. I remember we were house hunting the day that this dropped. And we had looked at, it was right around Joe's house where we were looking. And we looked at this little
I do remember that
crusty, decrepit house.
We were trying to order it like a billion times, but it wasn't working.
Yes, and it wouldn't work, and I was really nervous that they were going to charge my card like 100 times, because that happened with Anastasia Denona like 5 years ago now. I tried to charge something like 4 times, and they charged me like 4 times because the website was down. So I was scared that was going to happen with this palette. But anyway, so one side is this like brown kind of color story, a neutral color story with a gold shimmer. And then the other side is a rainbow palette, basically. Now the teal we shattered pretty early on. So, or not the teal, the hurtful, the darkest blue. We shattered pretty early on.
You definitely had issues with that blue because you hit pan on it before it shattered.
I did. I hit pan on it
and
before
it was like
shattered.
the second day that we got the palette.
Yeah. I did struggle quite a lot with using this palette. It's not my favorite by any means. I was super excited to get my hands on it, but after I did, I found it to be one of my least used palettes.
I do get into the browns now.
Yes, I like the browns now because I love the mustardy fall tones. Like they're really beautifully toned. I think that this side of the palette is phenomenal and dare I say somewhat unique in a sense for how neutral it is.
Mm-hmm.
But this side, I think because it's just rainbow, you can't really make too many looks out of this side. Now you can if you're trying to be really creative. Like don't play me here. I'm trying to say basic, easy to put together looks are not easy with this side of the palette. Obviously this is meant for creativity. I just think that overall this palette could have been done a lot better. I think that the idea made sense for what Christy was doing, but I don't think it was a very good palette overall.
I like it now, but I remember then, well, I didn't really have that many issues with it then. You definitely had the bulk of them. I always thought it was okay, you know,
yeah.
But I remember running into a couple of issues with like some of the teal or the purple sometimes.
Although missing one brown.
We lost the brown, I guess. And actually another shade, the yellow.
Oh,
has come unglued, so this one has, seen better days. But this is the Midas Cosmetics and the Basic Beat Perception palette. Aside from this and the Smoky Glow palette, I don't know that we ever tried anything else from Midas. But we got both of these in PR because we were... Pull out the yellow. Friends. Oh,
I was gonna glue it. The eyelash glue and see if it stuck very well at all. Okay. It might do enough to last us another month, Okay, sorry, I've got some on your finger.
I love, the mattes in here are okay. Some of them are really good and some of them are not so good. I struggle with this blue.
It is a fairly good blue for all of those blues I've tried. It's the best of those blues, but it still has issues.
If you're gonna build on it, it's gonna be...
It's almost like a neon pigment.
Pachachi. Yeah.
So...
But the... and these two dark mattes, Implode and Restless, are like some of my favorites. This Deep Forest and this Dark Plum. So good. But the shimmer it's like chandelier.
Oh my god, yeah, but it's more like pink.
Oh, it's so good. It's so everything to me. And I love the neon coral. It was just a really good, well put together palette.
Right. And I'm sad that Midas closed because I love that they did small influencer collabs. I loved the branding of everything they did. I loved their Dusk to Dawn face palettes. Like I loved everything about the brand other than the fact that they gave a little bit private label-y vibes. But outside of that, I did like the brand a lot, so it's sad that they're gone now. But it is what it is. Next one, another Christy collab. This was her second one. This should have given me the hint that I needed to stop buying things just because an influencer made it. I'm not saying I don't like this palette. We gave it a decent review. I thought that for ColourPop especially, these were really good deep mattes. The formula was really nice. At the time, I wasn't a huge ColourPop lover. Now, I'm pretty indifferent on their shadows. I do like them, but I don't do looks like I used to, so I would have to start trying those again to know. Things like, I don't know, the only person I ever mentioned, Make Me Up Missa. She's the only one that I care about at this point in my life. No offense, influencers. She's just the best there is. And like looks like hers, you might run into patchiness issues with other ColourPop shadows. These ones I found didn't like ball up on each other or start skipping.
They got nice and dark.
I hate the shimmer choices in this palette. I don't know. I know that we mentioned that we didn't love the yellow gold West Coast. Just because we're not yellow gold people. It's not like...
I think they look good.
Yeah.
They look good.
It's just my least gravitated towards color. It's basically like me wearing a yellow shirt.
And
it doesn't happen.
We are way more inclined to throw a shimmer on the lid than like any of these matte colors.
Right.
So to not have something that's an all over lid shade,
a staple
here,
all over lid shade, makes it almost unusable.
Makes it like we don't
to be by itself. That is.
Now that I typically mix and match my things, but when I try and pull out just to look from here, I'm like, no, I'm gonna grab a different shimmer because. Well, none of those are inner corners for me either.
It would hurt to depot, but I think that I'm kind of getting near the point in our makeup journey where I think I'm ready to like depot certain things again. Like I'm less concerned about knowing what the product is that I'm using and displaying said product.
Yeah.
I'm more
interested in the colors. And
I think I'm more interested in the process and the colors and the story behind, you know, everything that's happening than I am the actual product, because I think that's what's going to get us out of the, you know, the consumerism that has been so rampant, is people less hyping up products and more hyping up techniques and that sort of thing. So that's definitely the path that I'm taking. But I do like this palette. I think it's a beautiful fall palette. I love the deep jewel tones
and the here, so
and yeah, all the mushrooms, so cute. I've used this palette quite a little bit recently. I've used it like 3 or 4 times, and I am quite liking it. So I think that this will kind of run up there in my fall palettes when it's fall time and I'm doing fall colors. I think that this one is more.
Well, it is fall time.
Well, but it's starting to get too cold to where I feel wintry.
I didn't get winter. It's not winter until Thanksgiving. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Today was actually nice, so I don't know why I'm bitching. But I did like this. It wasn't my favorite though. I think.
I'll put reviews if we have.
I was gonna say, I think we have reviews on almost everything we're talking about. So like we were really thorough with reviews.
Yeah, God knows our reviews have changed now. That might be a cool series.
Yeah,
like
going through our
reviewing.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have been here.
You know how much we love this.
Angelica Club Nebula palette with Colitis.
Easily the best palette that dropped that year. I don't know what year
out
it was.
Of any palette that's ever been created, and like. It reminds me kind of the Robbie de Christie palette.
But like bright.
But much brighter and with shimmers that I prefer, which is why, I chose this as a project pan palette, and it truly did not feel like a project.
Yeah.
It was like a joy every day dipping into this thing. Especially like all of the shimmers. They're all so
They were so good.
The only thing that I don't use too much is this peach, because I'm not into peaches anymore. I used to be so into peaches and reds and corals. And now that my hair is just not a shade of berry, it's like that love is gone. But so good. I know they said there was like production things and backstage issues, and I don't know what any of that means. Bring it back. Create a new one. I don't care.
This is the only one of this series that we kept. I wish we would have kept the Red Dragon looking back.
They were all so nice.
They were all really good, but
we had to slim down.
We were being realistic about what we would use and what was unique to our collection, and reds. I know. But we were pretty realistic. We got rid of a butt ton.
We did.
Anyway, this is the Odeney and Annette's Makeup Corners.
Yeah.
Okay. Giant Wolves palette. This is beautiful. It's got beautiful shimmers.
I put that in my bucket.
Yeah. This would be really up your alley color story-wise right now. But the shimmers in here, the Odeney shimmers are beyond beautiful. Like there's no words to truly capture the sparkle in these shadows.
They kind of have like glam light almost formula. Some of them do. But some of them are scratchy.
Yeah. I think Odeney does a great job of putting together funky color stories that are realistically usable. Mm-hmm. So while the fact that there are these like murky greens and this like gold, like orangey flipping gold kind of, you know, sheer white shimmer.
Then you said orgy.
orangey. And like this random purple, like all of these look good together. You know what I mean? Like, you can't necessarily layer the pink and the green and it's not going to make an ugly color. I'm not saying that. But, like, next to each other, they're very pleasing.
They all look nice.
Like a palette of paints. Yeah, it's really nice. I like this palette a lot. And again, I kind of wish we had the others just looking back. I think we gave these a pretty fucking fire review, too.
Yeah, because they were awesome. Speaking of Odeney and collabs, this one's the Odeney and Angelica Hala palette. So flippin' pretty. This is like everything for spring.
Odeney decided
possibly me. They decided to put every single green that I love, every single yellow.
They decided to put their whole neck into this palette.
They put every single color that I love. This like blue-brown kind of flip with the red base is like obviously my color. And if you know anything about me, this kind of brown matte, this one with like a little bit of berry or a little bit of red, but so dark that it's still really smoky. My favorite.
That probably has the biggest, probably the most used in the palette.
My favorite color. I've used these two as blushes before. I've used this as a highlight. This is one of the prettiest shimmers that's ever existed. This like peach guy. And I love sparkly black. I know I'm ridiculous, but I love a sparkly black, and I like. This one's like a glittery black, so you do get quite a bit of fallout, but yeah, whatever. That's what makeup wipes are for.
I would love the newest collection. Odai gave up on us when we gave up on YouTube, so.
Yeah, I haven't bought the second round of collab. Only
we did consider it though. We did talk about it.
Yeah, we did talk about it because I do really want it still, because it's so pretty, and I know I would enjoy it, but I'm trying to continue with this no to low buy trend, and
right. Well,
again, we've fallen off the wagon in technique so much that we have a lot to do.
A lot of learning, rebuilding, and yeah. Christmas is just around the corner.
Yeah, no, I just can't.
So
I can't stomach that price on makeup right now. I just can't. But it was definitely high on our consideration list because.
Yes. So Odai, if you see us back, we want it. We want you to come back. Can you guess what I was saying? I haven't dipped. Oh yeah, I forgot that shade.
Broke. Yeah.
I haven't dipped into this palette in way too long. I need to pull it back out. This is the Natasha Denona Gold palette. I know we were just talking shit about yellow golds, but that is the only shade that's not touched in this. Pretty much.
Again, don't use yellow golds in this house.
This is the best palette that has ever been put out, that has ever existed, that has ever graced this earth. I've never found a more beautiful set of golds, and this was like our first introduction to like true fun shimmers.
And this absolutely started our Natasha Denona love affair.
Khaki,
like, first.
Khaki Love Beauty.
Yeah, I think so.
Khaki is the reason isn't the reason we bought this, but we were looking through
on Christmas
Eve. I bought this for Vic, and I was like, let's look up some Natasha Denona Gold palette reviews because I want to see, like, I kind of want it. Like, you want it too, right? So we were like looking through reviews, so I can get her excited for tomorrow.
Dude, I about wet myself when I opened the box.
And we were watching Khaki, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad I bought this palette for her. I'm still in it. And it really has been one of our, like, it stood the test of time. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if I put it on my eyes and it gives me hives, it's not leaving this home.
It's staying.
It's staying, at least on display.
Until I see mold forming.
It's so good, Natasha. Cancel everything else you've done and bring this back. Baby.
Didn't you just say you wanted her new palette?
I do.
Yeah, we have 2 Glam Light Pizza palettes. We got these from our aunt for Christmas. I think she got them at like a Marshall's or a TJ Maxx or whatever. But I don't know, they're cute. I do like this color story the most because of the pinks.
I need to.
This one definitely reads Veggie Lovers Pizza,
right?
Which isn't my favorite anymore.
It's a really solid black. I just find that it's a really basic formulated shimmer.
Yeah, these just aren't super special. There's a few special shimmers in here. Neither of these, I just keep them around because they're cute, basically.
Right, just for shits.
And I think Charlotte will get a kick out of them later, but they're not like a used palette almost at all for us.
Right, they definitely have sat. They're in like the way, like the storage, it's just not.
No, but they're so cute.
I do like them.
They're so cute. God, I just taped this. I know we just mentioned this in our last video. This is the Dragon Fruit palette from Cleona. Yeah, I gorilla taped it because this lid kept falling off, and I'm afraid I'm gonna like impale one of the shadows.
I used that earlier today, and I really like the look it did.
Yeah, this is a beautiful palette. I don't know if this, it must have been limited edition because it's X Emily Violet Marie.
Oh,
it was a collab palette.
Sorry, Emily Violet Marie.
I think I knew that actually, and I totally forgot. Yeah, Emily Violet Marie is a genius, I guess. Yeah, it's a beautiful palette. If you could ever get your hands on it, I would recommend it, but it's not worth like spending $1,000 on.
Right, if you see it be upsold. If you see,
don't worry about it. Just like go buy some singles.
If you see any limited edition palette upsold, don't buy it. Don't be stupid.
You silly goose.
Use your brain. Only pea brains buy expired $200 palettes. I see this shit on Mercury
All the time.
All the time. I don't even know how you pronounce the damn app. That's why I should use Poshmark. At least I know how to say it. But anyway, that is all from us today. We just kind of wanted to run through, do some more swatches, start, you know, again, playing with our stuff.
Familiarize.
Yes, discontinued makeup is something that we have quite a lot of at this point, so excuse that when we do things.
And we probably will throw a couple of these palettes into like a project pan or something.
Right. So I think that a project pan will probably be one of our next film videos here shortly. But I think that it'll really kickstart what we need to do, and we can kind of figure out a new setup for those too, like with, you know, like do a couple of videos like the looks we've done with our project pan stuff, and then like, you know, our progress and that sort of thing. So anyway, thank you so much for watching again, and we hope to see you in the next video. Bye!